Hello, welcome to that Friday Night Live from that Millwall podcast. Tonight we do have a few other guests joining us. Before I introduce the fella who is that way, even there's been a few people asking. Spencer is one on Twitter, has been asking, "Where's Mickey?" or "Where's the Barrett's brother?" The Right Said Fred gif has been bandied about a little bit on Twitter. Allegedly, Mickey has made it through the first round of interviews for the manager's job, so he is unavailable again. There is a rumor going around, though, guys, that Mickey will be back on Sunday evening. He may be able to give us the results of who's going to be the Millwall manager. It may even be him himself, but we'll have to wait and see. Joining me tonight, we have in the stream the one and only, the Married at First Sight connoisseur, Joe Zampa. How are you?
I'm good, Stephen. I'm right. I tell you what, I don't understand how no one else is into Married at First Sight, the UK version at the moment. I know it's trash TV at its finest, but it's addictive. You know, you look at these people, it's just a good watch. You know, it's easy watch. You know, nice evening, you're relaxed, you don't have to think too hard, just chill out and just watch the carnage unfold. So I reckon all you lot there taking the Mickey out on me are closet fans, really, just not admitting it. But there you go.
And just joining the stream a little bit late, it does look like he's in pitch black at the minute.
I'm here. Do you need extra lighting? I'll provide some now to one side of my face. Sorry. There we go.
There we go. Now you can all see him. We're joined by Dan. Dan, how are you this evening?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm here. I'm alive. I don't know whether I'm excited or shitting it for tomorrow, really.
No, I quite agree. Tony, morning. Please don't tell me that Warnock is in the running. Possibly. I'm not sure.
My second favourite, Stephen, according to Sky Bet.
Well, yeah, but the betting odds are a little bit.
Joe, mate, if you lumped 50 quid on Nathan Jones now, I'd probably go to favourites. So.
Hello, Gaza. Hello, Alex. Evening, Dan, Ted. My mum, Monica, who actually come to the game on Tuesday. She wasn't a good luck omen, so she won't be coming again. She won't be coming again. Short odds on Mickey. Hello, Mike. Hope you're well. David. Evening, Mike again. Even Monica, pink hat.
We're just waiting for Ben to confirm, or Anthony, if Anthony's on the stream tonight. Who has best in Trafford Centre this week?
Ben is currently
Pizza Hut. Sorry.
No, Ben is currently waiting for a curry. So when he does join the stream, guys, just give him dog's abuse. His curry's come before us. Daily Mill, hope you're well. Alex S. Joe, I spend my Friday nights watching three blokes discussing Millwall, so I'm in no position to criticise your TV habits. Alex, we appreciate the support, mate. We really, really do. And John, evening to you. Right, guys. Unfortunately, we haven't really done anything. We haven't done a show since the Blackburn game, so I suppose we have to start with that. It just wasn't very good after the first 15 minutes or so, was it? Huff and puff, but not a lot of quality.
No, I think that's fair. I think, to be honest, yeah, you can't criticise, the huff and puff. I mean, really, it was probably a 1-0 game, wasn't it? Because it was two really bad pieces of goalkeeping, one for either side, and obviously, Bryan's down injured, doesn't get up. Obviously. Well, no, obviously the full extent of the injury, it's not me digging him out or anything. Obviously I think he's been a good player for us, but obviously there is injury concerns with him. They break down that wing, score a good goal. So, that's that really, isn't it? So, yeah, there was a lot of huff and puff, just sadly not enough end product attacking quality from us on the night.
No, I mean, evening Ken, born free, die free, Carl and Peter, this is a great comment. Chris, you can always rely on Chris Brown. How many Dans does it take to change a light bulb? Fantastic.
Chris, at the moment. Sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya, isn't he? All it is an acoustic guitar.
I'll take the comment off so we can see the full face and get the full effect of the light in there. Joe, good start on Tuesday against Blackburn, and it really looked like we'd come out the traps to kind of try and four at the back, get at them. And we tried to press. I thought the press was really, really impressive for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, you always know what you get from Bradshaw, didn't you? He's always going to be pressing, and he'll press to the last minute of the game. But what was interesting is that he was pressing, Zian was pressing as well, right from the off, like you say, and they're kind of encouraging the players to press with them. You see quite often Fleming or Bradshaw turning over there and looking at Marku to press as well, and it's quite good. It's a very different style. I was watching, thinking, under Rowett in this situation, we sat back deep, waiting for them to attack us or try and play through our lines. Whereas we started really positively. Like I said, we were on the front foot, we were pressing them, we forced their defenders and their goalkeepers to a couple of errors, although they managed to get out of them. But it's what we want to see. We want to see, especially at home, playing on the front foot, pressing their defenders. But I don't know whether it's tiredness or what, but towards the end, they did kind of like sit back a bit too deep again, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that comment there kind of reiterates a little bit from John. They look fitter, quicker than us. The next comment here is similar to what...
Saying it for most games that's this season, to be honest. Feels like that's what we've been saying. I thought Blackburn were really good. I feel like you could see they weren't overly confident when they had the ball in their defensive third. They did make quite a lot of errors in the ball, I think. But the passing, the speed, the link-up play, the movement when they got the ball up to the front three was, something just we haven't seen from a Millwall side for a while.
No, their movement was very good. I think again, fitness seems to be a reoccurring theme, which is not. It's not good because at Millwall that's a basic. That's hard working, be fitter, be hungry. If you haven't got those qualities, you're kind of struggling a little bit. Spooky Dan for Halloween. Blackburn are a bogey team. Mickey twin out. Blackburn are a bogey team. It's only one win in 16 league fixtures against Blackburn, so I'm sure we'll all be queuing up. And I'm led.
If I'm right, one win in 16.
In 16 league games,
and I know what you're going to say. The one win, nobody was there to see.
No, what I was going to say is that when we play them away from home, I believe it's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
So that's going to be...
I'm exploring possibilities of going up there for it because I couldn't think of anything else other than better to do than spend my 22nd birthday in Blackburn.
We desperately need Kevin Muscat. The link between the midfield and attack non-existent. Need to play free in midfield, pushing up. That's interesting, Tony. We'll come back onto that because I do have something that I was going to talk about with our midfield. I actually feel for AB as he's tried to be a little bit more positive, but it just hasn't worked. No attacking coaches shows look like we don't know what to do in the final third. Hashtag Schultz and Bradders, and should Truman get a few games spot? It's just a mistake waiting to happen now. So on a couple of those, so we'll come back to that question about the keeper. With our midfield, do we think that all of our midfielders, and I know obviously I'm very pro George Saville, but do we think that all of our midfielders are a little bit samey? None of them have anything really different between them.
I think it's the job they're asked to do, aren't they? I mean, certainly under Rowett, you can tell they were told to be very defensive minded, not to get forward too much. I mean, Saville's told me that on an occasion once where, I'm not saying he's been restricted under Rowett, but he made comparisons from his first stint playing for us, where he had the lights to get forward and get amongst the goals or whatever. Whereas under Rowett, he's basically been told to sort of be more defensive minded. So, although Barrett might have changed that somewhat slightly, given a little bit more freedom, if you like, you can't help but a lot of that's been ingrained in them the last sort of 4 years, where they're just thinking defensive first, maybe. But I think they're slightly different. I mean, Denore, I think, is much more comfortable on the ball. I think he looks to play balls through the lines, through midfield to attack a bit better. Mitchell seems to run well the ball. Saville obviously likes his tackling. He's very, very strong. He's a presence on the field. And then you've got Alan Campbell, who I don't really know what he does. I mean, he got an assist for Fleming, didn't he, the other day? Whether he meant it, I don't know. But
don't bring that up when Ben comes. That's all.
Hold on. Just before we carry on, breaking news, and this guy has been wandering around the golf course. He's been trying to get Millwall promoted on Football Manager. He sacked off the beginning of the show for his curry. I introduce you to the Football Manager connoisseur and Alan Campbell fan club owner, Ben. How are you, Ben?
I've just caught the end of that. So, right, Joe, we're going to start off there. Can we not start on Campbell?
Say again?
Can we not start on Campbell?
Oh, right, okay. you want to start something more positive, do you?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
I was about to say, if we're starting this on a positive note, Ben, what was your curry order? I feel like this is a good Friday night question.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what? It's going to be very controversial. Now I've moved up north, I have to order chips with a curry. That wasn't a thing.
No, really?
That wasn't a thing until I moved up north, and obviously my ex is a northern girl, so that's been introduced to me. So I got.
You know what though, Ben? That's what Mickey eats as well.
Like, I think it's a very northern thing. I think
he goes to a curry house, he'll only eat chips with curry sauce.
Oh no! So I have a curry as well, and rice and garlic and garlic.
Oh,
and then you just
chips.
Not as bad as Mickey then.
Into like tikka masala or whatever you have.
Yeah, so I have a spicy tikka masala, pilau rice, bombay aloo, garlic naan, and chips.
It's a good order, to be fair. It's a good order.
I thought I had to order the chips tonight because I was obviously under strict instructions not to slander anyone by our leader because I've had a few pints.
Yeah. It's pretty warm, weren't he?
The shandies have been flowing in Ben's household, guys. They did play around us as we sat up now. Several teams have done this to us now. Yeah, I agree with that, Mike. Ben, you've come in. We were talking about the topic of conversation was, or the question was, are our midfielders too samey?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was something I said after the Preston game. I think Casper and probably even Campbell were similar. I think Saville's similar. We don't seem to have that sort of forward thinking midfield. I know Campbell is probably but for Luton he played in the 10, right? He played behind the striker, I think.
Really?
But I think so. I think he was more. Really? Yeah, I think he was more of a forward threat than he has been for us. But yeah, I think that was one of the question marks I had when we signed Campbell was, did we need someone that is very similar to what we've got? Does he offer anything different to the guys that I've already mentioned? So, yeah, I think they probably are.
Yeah.
Other than Esse, I agree with Stephen. Esse, I'm not sure about Esse playing in midfield. I know it's something that that he's tinkered with, but I'm not sure. David here, what's going on with our new manager? Any news, gents? Unfortunately not. We know as much as you. The rumours are going round about Beale,
all we
Warnock.
know is the interviews have begun.
Yes, that's all we can say.
Or have they? I mean, there's lots of rumours saying that they have. Some say they haven't. They're going to start next week, and they're planning to see all these guys, likes of Beale, Eustace, and Warnock, and the rest of it. So it's very hard to believe, either version really, because one's got to be wrong, isn't they? If not both.
Our home form is relegation form. End of. I completely agree.
At the moment, it's four home wins in 14 games since the start.
Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Ben
That's
in for manager. Hashtag Bradder's mum.
That's probably number one for every manager. Fix that home form.
Absolutely. Whip it curry. Chips in curry sauce is Chinese. Afternoon. Daniel.
Where are you, Daniel? Which part of the world are you?
Afternoon. Would that be America? Could it possibly be America or Canada?
They're usually behind us, isn't it, by about 6-8 hours or whatever, yeah.
Do you think Casper and Sav could play in a diamond? Would love to see, I'm assuming that Sav get forward as he used to.
I think this could work. I think this could work. I like this idea. Probably have either Leonard or Billy at the base, depending on who you want to play as your two centre-halves. You'd probably have to play with a 4-back for it to work.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, you'd have to. And I think Leonard would be the prime person to play in that holding midfield role because he's got the legs to do it. But it would be fantastic. I think it'd be fantastic to see Evans. Jesus Christ, he's not Evans. Saville in that kind of attacking midfield position.
Do we think that Sav's quick enough to play that role now?
I think if you took away the responsibility of any kind of tracking back, I know Saville's the sort to put a foot in and stop attacks, but if you take that away from him, kind of get him concentrating on pushing further forward, I think that would take out the need to have that yard of pace, if that makes sense.
I was more thinking
Do you know? I'm
Is
thinking
he,
who could
is he
possibly
quick-footed
play.
enough now at 30?
Do you know?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know
Has he got
could
that?
work? Honeyman
Go on.
came off the bench and had a great game. I thought
It's
when
like
he came
Dan's
on.
having his own little show at the moment, isn't he? Like,
I'm not on my usual device tonight. Sorry, so like,
all
I'm
right.
probably things, so I'm blaming it. But yeah, I thought Honeyman had a great game when he came on Tuesday night. Personally, I think he could be someone who could play probably in one. If we wanted to play that diamond, he could probably be someone who plays one of the like wide centre midfielders. Yeah. One of the two.
How did Mickey's interviews go? The man himself should be back on Sunday to talk a little bit more about this, but I'm not going to give too much away. John Parr, I'm not sure SA is the golden ticket. Apart from the goal at Borough, he hasn't done a lot. I think it's
played a lot, to be fair, is he?
Yeah, that's you've got to take that. I don't think he's played enough. Chips and curry sauce is a must. Daniel is from Canada.
Just on the SA thing, Stephen, I was going to say, obviously we saw it midweek against Blackburn. Could you imagine if we had Amaku and SA, which a lot of people have been crying out for, and just having them in wide positions and giving it away as much as Amaku did on both sides? It would just be...
Yeah, I maintain it that SA is just not a winger. To me, you're going to get the best out of him, and it's unfortunate because Fleming is obviously going to have, well, for now he's going to have the shirt. I think you need him more central. I think Amaku's the same. I don't see Amaku as a winger just because he's fast. Initially, I fell into that trap myself and thought, get him out wide, get him running at fullbacks. But it's the tracking back and it's the other side of the job that perhaps he's not that used to doing. People last week were talking about the under-21s and how SA played one side and Amaku played the other. I don't know how much tracking back Nugent would have asked those two lads to do. I really don't. I don't know how much.
That's a completely different, I'd imagine, game as well.
Yeah,
like we're talking about championship level football to under 21s.
And also, they're a decent side, aren't they? Under 21. So I guess they're playing against teams that are obviously
they're going to be on the front foot all the time, aren't they, Joe?
They've got a lot more of the ball. They're on the front foot exactly. Whereas playing in the middle first team, the championship against these multi-million-pound players everywhere. It is a different game. You're going to get less of the ball. You're going to have to do more tracking back. It's a completely different ball game, isn't it?
And you know when Rowett used to say like about people's defensive work, I think you can just from seeing Amaku, when was it, Tuesday night, Wednesday night? You could see that, right? You can see that defensive side and how important it was that when he does lose it or whoever loses it high up the pitch about doing that defensive work.
Yeah, and also you're ruining our best players. If you're having to get them tracking back all the time, when we do get these rare opportunities when we're attacking, that a lot of them are out. You've got no energy. You can see that they're a bit knackered and they can't really play on the front foot, can they? So it's a big ask, isn't it?
Sorry, you sure Mickey was up for the manager's job and not the team hairdresser? Chris is on fire. He's on fire tonight. Last week he was being nice to him, and now that's it. He's just ripped the Band-Aid off.
Mickey was saying the other week to us on a group chat. He's like, "Why does everyone keep ripping the piss out of me all the time?" I think he loves it secretly.
Oh, he does. He does. The question of pace is our biggest problem. We have none of it, so we rely on moving the ball quickly, which we don't do. Everything is so static. SA and Amaku are exciting, but work in progress. Yeah, that is it. And this is what I said last week, I think, to Ben. The difference it must have been watching someone that can run with the ball and get us up the pitch really, really quickly at Preston in Amaku. If he doesn't play, Norton Cuffey perhaps has a little bit of pace from right back, but it's just slow, passive build up football, and teams win the ball back, and Blackburn. Don't get me wrong, Blackburn going forward were pretty good, but I just feel like they look good because they move quicker than us. They run, they want the ball. Our players are just like, no, go backwards, go sideways, and it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit static.
I think also the formation doesn't suit us too much. I mean, I know he's gone back to the kind of 4-2-3-1, didn't he? Last game against Blackburn, which we kind of play a lot last season, to be fair. But it just seems that the players we've got don't suit that kind of system. Where we have to go with three in midfield, maybe bring Honeyman in a midfield to give us that bit of spark and that bit of energy and a bit of attacking breadth. I also like to see, I don't know about you guys, but I want to see Fleming a little bit more higher at the pitch. I don't know about you, but I just feel I'm fed up seeing him playing so deep. Like
I've been saying to this, I mean, my dad have been talking about this, Joe. I think I wouldn't be against Fleming playing up top with Bradders.
Yeah,
100%.
Especially when we go a little bit more direct, and we say it all the time. I don't need to go for my love for Bradders and his mum, but when we go more direct, he gets gobbled up by centre halves in the league. Always does. Fleming's got that bit of presence to be able to hold it up. He's decent in the air. I'm not saying I want to go direct to Fleming, but he's got that streak. You can. Yeah, he's got more chance to win the header than Bradders has.
And also, sorry to interrupt you, Dan, Ben, while you're on flow there, full flow, but you're absolutely spot on there, because the amount of times I saw Bradshaw, his first touch was dreadful when the ball was hit up to him against Blackburn, and the ball was taken away from him, or and it would never hold the ball up. Having Fleming there, either alongside Bradshaw or Maku, whoever you want to pick, at least you think he's going to hold that ball up or flick it on his head or something. Sorry, mate, carry on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, actually, I think it will help Bradders having that, because I think his runs are in between the fullbacks, getting in behind, doing the hard sort of running. If Fleming's able to hold it up and spinning defenders or flicking it on, I think we're just going to see a better Bradders. Then you're going to see more from him, because everyone criticises him every week about, he didn't win a header, he didn't hold it up, but that's not his game. That isn't Tom Bradshaw's game. He hasn't got a chance of doing that.
No, that's right, exactly. And you want to see him in that 6-yard box, don't you?
Between the posts.
Exactly. That's where he's most dangerous. He's a poacher. You're asking a poacher to play in a different position. Okay, I know it's still a forward, but you're still asking him to play in a target man position, which is not his game. And although I think he did really, really well end of last season to adapt to target man role, because you see him winning headers and really working his nuts off and getting clattered by defenders, but you still asking him not to do it. And in this season, I just think it's a little bit short of where we need him to be in that kind of breadth. Also, guys, I don't know how you feel about this, and also the guys watching and listening here, do you feel we've got enough players in the box? I mean, the amount of times balls are getting in or crosses getting in, you've got Bradshaw in there, and you've got nobody else in the box with like 4 defenders around him.
And again, that's what I mean, Joe. If you have Fleming in there, who's he's decent in the air.
In the air as well,
you just got a much better chance. There's no point putting the ball in the box really to Bradders, because I know he scored a decent head against Sheffield United, didn't he? But it was sort of a glancing one. But in the main.
Yeah, I think Nisbet can do that lone striker role fairly well, probably better than most we've got playing at the moment. But I think you've got to go with 2. You've got to go with either a target man with pace. So you're looking at maybe like a Fleming and a Maku, or a Nisbet if he's fit and a Maku. Or you're going to go for a target man and a poacher. But I think it depends where we are in the game. If we're chasing a game, you could do it with a poacher there, because obviously you want to get crosses in and make things happen. But when it's 0-0 or we're losing 1-0, sorry, we're winning 1-0, sorry, you want to have that pace. And Maku, I think, is much more effective in a more of a central role with another target man, where we can play the ball through defenders and over defenders and get him chasing on the counter. Playing him out wide, yes, it can be quite effective, but all he's going to do is try and get crosses in. And again, Bradshaw's on his own with like 4 defenders around him,
Yeah, absolutely. Just on Carl's point there, Stephen, before you go to the next comment. So what I noticed the other night was Blackburn sat in a lot more than Preston. Obviously, Preston come at us a bit more, and it allowed Maku to have a lot more space on the break for him to run into. But when Blackburn was sat in that sort of mid-low block, he had no space to run into, and he was just running a full-back and a winger.
Can I also say there, to add to that point, Ben, was in against the Preston game, wasn't Maku playing in a front 2 with Fleming behind him and Bradshaw, because we played 5 at the back that game, whereas against Blackburn, we played 4 and he played on the left side.
Yeah, it seemed like he was sort of planning a wide 10 role. Like it wasn't up front with Bradders. It was sort of, I say it was like a 10, but sort of just out wide,
role, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but
he didn't back as much.
Yeah, exactly that. He had a bit more freedom.
He had a bit more freedom to be able to like, drift out wide and stuff like that, and like then go into the middle. Whereas like when we played it, and probably go over to the other side a little bit. Whereas when he was 4-2-3-1 on the left, he was pretty much told just to stick to the left.
But as I say, Dan, when Preston had more of the ball, so then when we broke, he had a lot more space to run into, because their fullback was sort of pushing up as well, and it gave him it played into his hands in terms of what he's good at. But say against Blackburn, they sat in that mid-low block, and he was he had a wing back and a winger to try and beat, and he obviously just he didn't have the space to run into really.
The point you're making there, can I just mention that Connor's point I think is excellent.
100%.
And I've been saying this for the last sort of few weeks. You watch, our midfielders, what they do, but Denore is someone who I think is absolutely spot on. I mean, he's very clever. He plays with his brain. He's always wanting the ball, but he creates space for himself to receive the ball. As soon as he gets the ball, he's looking to turn and play the ball forward. He's always trying to make things happen. And his movement is brilliant. I'm glad that kind of picked up on that, because I noticed that as well. Not just on the ball, off the ball, but just his movement, the way he is. If you ever watch him, I know it's quite sad to kind of focus on one player when you're watching a game. You tend to watch where the ball's going, but if you just keep an eye on what Denore does, Casper, his movement and his awareness and the positions he takes up and the 1 touch, 2 touch and stuff, it's phenomenal. Incredible.
Yeah, I think Denore is someone that you see how good he is, and just imagine how good he might be if we were performing better or in a better team.
In a fully functional.
By the way, just want to say something. I spoke to his dad. If you're watching Cohen, I had a really good conversation with Dad. I'm going to meet him in a couple of weeks' time when he flies over to watch Casper with his brother-in-law. And we're just sort of talking about how much he's loving life at Millwall. And I know we could probably see it anyway for ourselves, but his dad was saying that he absolutely loves Millwall. He loves the Millwall fans. He loves the atmosphere. He loves playing for the club. He likes the kind of the vibe of the fans, the way that they are, and he really kind of thrives off that. Obviously, he likes playing for us home and away, but he particularly enjoys it playing at home. We've got the support there, he said. And also, it was interesting. It's not Denore. Apparently, it's Denore. So where we start singing, I bet these songs with Denore in there. Apparently, I think it's Denore. But he said, look, he's happy either way. He doesn't make any odds to him. But I just want to share that with the group that Casper loves Millwall, and I think we love him too. I told his dad.
We love Casper.
I just want to know, Joe, every other time you come on there, you speak to someone's dad. Like you seek them out, or you just ask someone in the crowd and just tap them on the shoulder. Are you related to any of the squad? And then
allegedly, I'm a similar age to Mickey Simpson. You see, so I guess I've got this appeal where I might sort of engage, relate a little bit to the older, older gentlemen, and it just happens to be the fathers of footballers sometimes, But no, lovely guy. I'm going to share a few beers with him. Although he did warn me that the Belgians like to drink their beer, so. Well, be careful, the old Stella Artois, because
Joe, did you
hammered quickly?
Joe, did you ask the most important question? Does he actually run his Twitter account, or is it his management team?
No, but I'm going to ask him. I'm going to find out.
Yeah, find that one out.
Chris, I quite agree. Norton Cuffy doesn't know when to pass, just keeps running his dead ends. I think it is frustrating. I thought he had a good game on Tuesday, but he does need to release the ball a little bit quicker. It just makes you look a better player as well. Fleming isn't a striker. He probably isn't an out-and-out striker, but I think he could. I think he could certainly do a job. Yeah,
I think what Mill Drive and I don't know if that's TT or not. That's commenting there, but I think spot on with that. I think that's not his position. I think in an ideal world, yes, you want him playing that number 10 role, but where we lack so much presence in the box and no real aerial threat or strength at the moment, you could just see Zian doing a job there. Until we sign a better target man in the January transfer window. Who knows?
Absolutely. I thought Tuesday was a best loss we've had in a while. I don't mind the loss if the desire is there. Unfortunately, the quality just wasn't. I agree with that sentiment to a certain degree. At home especially, I'm all for the players giving it a go, but you that's got to turn into points at the Den. You can't just keep getting home games drift by, unfortunately. When we play 2 up top, we create more chances. Nisbet back tomorrow, apparently see what he has to offer. John Parr, are we heading into a relegation battle? Lots of good sides have been relegated over the years. Dan, I will come to you first on that. In my opinion, I don't think it's time to be looking at a relegation battle. However, if the home form doesn't turn around in the near future, I think we could quite easily be sucked into that.
Yeah, I don't think you're too wrong there. At the moment, I'm not too worried because Sheffield Wednesday, they haven't won a game yet until the 11th of November, when every single Millwall fan knows exactly what is going to happen that day.
Yep.
And now they've just been done by HMRC as well. Today they can't register any new players at the moment. So, they're obviously not in a good way. Rotherham, who I don't think they've won an away game for about 15 months. You're going to have to win at least 1 or 2 away games a season if you want a chance of staying up in the league. So I don't think they'll stay up. And then, well, to be honest, if QPR sack Ainsworth, then I might start to panic a little bit. But as long as they keep Gareth Ainsworth in charge, and the longer the better, we have absolutely nothing to worry about. I also think Huddersfield are a very poor team, to be honest. So I think them 4 will be the bottom 4 comfortably. And, you know, when you did your pre-season predictions, I think most of us put us in the region kind of between 8th and kind of 10th, 11th. I know obviously Ima went for 6th. I don't think we're going to be looking at them, you know, almost dizzying heights so much. Maybe we need to be probably looking maybe towards more like kind of, you know, maybe a bit more of a lower mid-table, maybe something 15th, 16th, something like that.
I agree.
I don't think we need to panic about a relegation battle just yet, but maybe that's because the 4 teams that I've just mentioned are really bad rather than us having loads of quality not to worry about a relegation battle.
Barry, I did see your other comments, so I know you meant loving, not living. Guys, loving this conversation, but a new manager will surely have his own style that he wants to develop. I agree with that. And Ben, I think we spoke about this last week. The issue is that you can bring in whatever manager you want. We don't have any wingers, really, out and out, who I would call out and out wingers in this squad. So you can't come in and then go to 4-4-2 because you don't have the players to play out there until January. So it's not a million miles away, but there's enough games that the manager's going to have to come in and work with what he's got rather than necessarily what he might want.
And just to add to that, I think we said it before that we spent a few quid in the summer, right? So how much money is he actually going to have in January? And typically, how much business do we do as a club really in January, or any club? It's a tough window. So don't expect 5, 6, 7 signings just because we've got a new manager coming in. And then he's going to make those, as I say, signings in January. I think I really agree with Chris and Chaps's post-match. I think we've got to be really careful about the signing based on play styles. And look, we don't want to be going and signing a Rowett type manager because what's the point in then letting go of Rowett? But you can't, for me, you just can't look at a Muscat going from one end of the spectrum to the other. And as Chris said, you've got Muscat who's full on attack. You're playing rush goalie. Your goalie's playing now centre half, and you need somewhere in between. So,
what are you saying about Bob Howski?
I'm saying that he couldn't kick a bucket, let alone a football.
He's getting better now. He keeps ball on the pitch.
Yeah, true. I mean, I did see him at Preston, Joe, kick it out about 15 times in the first 10 minutes. But he will. A new manager will come in and have his own style. But I think we need to be careful in terms of what we're trying to ask players who have played a certain way to then go and change in a short space of time. Because that's when I think if it goes wrong quickly, where you could start to look at a relegation battle. I don't think we will. I think we've got too much quality, but that's just when it could happen.
I'm going to try and get through some of them. There's so many comments, guys, so I really appreciate them all. I've seen a couple coming up that are fantastic, but I'm just going to try and get through as many of them as I can. Any that spark up a little bit of a debate, obviously we'll have a chat. Our activity in the box is non-existent. Agreed. Similar to what you said, Joe, we don't get enough bodies in the box. Thoughts on the new Mason Bennett, aka Joe Bryan? I was very, very unhappy with what happened on Tuesday. How a footballer can get injured taking a free kick is beyond belief. What happened? He kicked the ball, fell over, and now he's going to be out for a month. I know he's injury prone. A very good player, and I thought he really was starting to come into his own, but it's not good, is it, when you get injured?
And to rub himself into injury, they scored down his side.
Yeah,
straight after. Yeah.
We're too unfit to get in the box. That would involve the players running. Again, it's a lot of about fitness seems to be the common thing here. Muscat will have us playing out from the back in no time. I don't want to be the prophet of doom, but I don't think Muscat is going to be the Millwall manager. I'm sorry, Dan. I know you want your moment, but I don't want to give anybody false hope. And I just
it's
think
not happening. It was never happening. Get over it.
The fact he's dropped 7-1 means he'll probably get a job now. You think about how far he's dropped out of it. He's probably got more chance of getting it, to be honest with you. I love to see Muscat in charge. I think if anything, I think it's going to lift the fan base. It's going to restore a little bit of Millwall back into it again. And more importantly, playing on the front foot.
Manager and wants to crack himself.
Just to be clear, I'd love Muscat in the role, but it was never happening. I just thought it was too many outside factors that had to play into him getting the job.
Yeah,
we have to be able to hold the ball each week. It feels like the opposition have an extra player on the pitch. We don't understand the basics of pressing or dropping. That's down to coaching. It is TT. He has commented, "Hi mate, I hope you're well." Yeah, it is. I'll get to it, but that is true. It does. The pressing. We press and we look like we're really close to winning the ball back, but the opposition always find a way, seemingly at the moment, to have that extra player to just knock the ball out, lads.
Which is the reason probably why Rag prefer us sort of sitting in our blocks rather than pressing high. Because if someone was pressing high, they were just passing it around us and playing through us, weren't they?
Absolutely. Lads, do you think Bradshaw is not the same this season as what he was last? Ben's head's about to explode.
But why you say that, but why would it be? I mean, is it the formation? I mean, I know...
I think it's the formation, to be honest.
Yeah. Because Fleming said himself in an article... I think Fleming said in an article recently, didn't he, or a few weeks back, that he's adapting to this formation because last season it was just him and Bradshaw, where he had more of the license to get in there. Like Bradshaw's putting out to the left. Zian will then go to the right of Bradshaw or whatever. Whereas now he said he can't find the space between the two forwards. So I think he was making the point when Nisbet was playing and he had Bradshaw and Nisbet ahead of him. So therefore, when he was making those runs, it's almost like he didn't know where to run to because there was no open space for him to kind of pick out. So I don't know whether that's affecting Bradshaw because he's a bit more restricted now. He can't make those little runs like he used to. Or, I don't know. It's a real strange one.
He has only just come back into the side as well since Nisbet's been injured. So
who's that? Sorry,
Bradshaw.
Was he played 3 games?
Fleming is so clinical in and around the box.
Yeah, it's about 3 games. Yeah, so you're right. So is he match fit? I don't know. I guess he's match fit, but is he still carrying a bit of an injury? A lot of times these players are carrying injuries. They're never going to be 100%, are they? And maybe someone like him, it affects him quite badly.
Evening, Biggie. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Sorry, Ben, go on.
Yes,
I was just going to say there was a lot of hearsay as well back in the last year that Bradders was heavily strapped up and was doing a lot to get through games.
As were quite a few players, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Saville. There's a few others that were literally carrying knocks all through the season, weren't they? Really.
Denoris, Kevin De Bruyne 2.0.
I agree.
De Bruyne.
Chris Brown, does anyone know where the best place to park, not the Watford car parks? I actually, I'm driving tomorrow. I got an email about a couple of places. Sorry, Dan, I know you don't like it when people drive.
Get the train, mate.
Dan's a train spotter, that's why.
There's a couple of places local. You have to book it online. I think the one I was about a tenner, but there's a couple of places that are about a 10-minute drive. So there are places around that you can park. This is a great comment. Millwall Daddy Joe.
That's the comment about the players' dads.
Joe the Stalker. Get that trending on Twitter. There we go. It is TT. Alex. Hi TT, love you and Zach's content. Keep it up. Absolutely. If guys in the chat, if you can go over to Millwall Drive Home and subscribe and watch his stuff. It's good content, really, really good.
That's going to take over the whole Mill social media. Give it a couple more years. He's already there at the moment, but give him a couple more years, and he'll take over. Good
evening, gents. I think that's Mickey. So that's not me. That's that. Yeah, absolutely.
He's a stalker. Talk about me being a stalker. That's Mickey spying us now.
David has put TT 11-a-side match against that Millwall podcast. You win. Before we look, Mickey we're working on something. We may, Lions TV. We might approach other people. We did mention that we might challenge you guys to a game of football if we can get the listeners to put something together. But Mickey is running that. I'm not going to get involved. Here he is. Thank you, Alex. Very much appreciated. all I keep hearing the other night then was we too good to go down, silly thinking. I don't think you can have that mentality. I think you do have to have that in the back of your mind. I would never go on record and say we are too good to go down, because anybody can get relegated in a league if they don't perform in the setup that they're in, no matter whether you're in the Premier League or the Conference South. But I don't think we should be looking over our shoulders just yet. Wednesday and Rotherham are very poor.
Whoever the manager might be, I'm sure whoever the manager is, I think we're going to get some kind of change. You normally get a reaction out, don't you? I mean, whether it's 4 or 5 games, you hope there'd be something different about us, and that could be enough, just kind of get us on the right path.
Absolutely. SA out. When this comes up, SA out to fund a spending spree. Not sure. I don't think we'd want. I wouldn't want to sell him for that. I'd want to sell him if a stupid offer come in.
Yeah.
If it's money that's too good to turn down, but I wouldn't want to just sell him just to bring in a couple of faces. It would have to be.
And
the right
he's
thing.
on contract at the moment as well. He's got a longish kind of contract. I don't know if it's like 3 or 4 years, but it's a lengthy amount. What do you think about Cresswell in the last game? He wasn't even on the bench, wasn't even in the squad last game. Would you take him on loan again?
100%.
100%.
Yeah, get him back.
I'll drive him
back.
down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the corner, aren't you, Fed?
The neighbours.
Could Norton Coffey play as a winger, or would Arsenal curtail that? I don't know. It'd have to improve a little bit on the ball.
I think he played as a winger at Coventry, didn't he? He played
a little bit.
I think he played
a bit more attacking role.
Yeah, he did. I think he played wing back and further up the pitch for Coventry.
We might need to improve, to be honest, to even keep Norton Coffey, because he was at Rotherham first half of last season, and Arsenal recalled him and sent him out to Coventry because they felt playing at Coventry at a higher level. Yeah, so
that's interesting. Yeah.
I think if we get a foreign manager, Mickey should be given the job as the club's translator. Now that would be interesting, because sometimes I can't understand a word he says. Oh, Mickey, I hope you're still in the comments, mate. This is why we need someone like Mason, Terry, Lampard, etc., who has connections at big clubs and get us some good loans in January.
If Lampard, I'm not going to games anymore if it's Frank Lampard.
Bart may not be great at distribution, but look at Mr. Long's performance for Norwich. Yes, it has been massively picked up on by Millwall fans that George Long seems to be having a little bit of a rough time of it in goal for Norwich.
You don't wish anyone's downfall, do you, Steve?
No, bless him. No. But,
a couple of them were harsh as well, though.
It's just comforting knowing it's not just us, is it? He's just.
Dan was digging him out when the geezer put in literally a 5p piece in the corner.
Oh well, I don't know. I think he done it better.
Because he didn't dive. Dan had the arse the other day.
At least the Schultz comments have died a death, thank God. And the next comment is #Schultz. Sorry, Chris.
Come back again.
Fleming is a second striker. Muscat from favourite to 8-1. I think that's because lots of comments have come out.
I think it's the fact their season doesn't end till December. To be honest,
absolutely.
Would you lads take Baldy in charge until December if it meant we get Muscat?
Nah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Watmore injured himself celebrating. Bryan injured himself taking a free kick. I don't know whether to laugh or be concerned. Connor. It is an absolute joke how our players are getting injured.
To injure himself taking a throw in.
It doesn't make
I don't want Michael Beale or John Eustace.
Earlier this week, and they said that they have problems with their strikers getting injured when scoring because their strikers struggle to do the first bit, so they can't do the second bit. So.
Can I ask what's the hate for Michael Beale? I mean, he seems like he ticks a lot of boxes.
He had about 7 or 8 good games at QPR. Said he was going to stay. Lost his next 4 or 5 games, and then fucked off straight to Rangers. And he's got a 70% win ratio records, or win record, whatever it is. It's with all due respect, it's pretty much a 2-team league. I feel like most of, we won't send Ben up there. Ben will just humble us all on his Football Manager experience.
I mean,
and stuff.
for what I
reckon
about
the 3 of us could get a 70% win rate as Rangers manager. He spent shit tons of money by their stands in the summer, and has probably taken them backwards, if anything, to be completely honest.
Well, you only got to see. I know Philippe Clement, or whatever his name is, only been there for 2 games, but I've watched Rangers in both those games, and they look like a completely different side. So that
Really?
just tells me that he's a pretty decent coach. And what Dan said, he spent a fortune for Rangers for standards, and I think he hasn't done too well with that money, shall we say?
Yeah. I mean, you look at that appointment there, and you look at Emery at Villa, and what these foreign managers are doing, like over here. And there's obviously lots of other foreign managers you could talk about that have done fantastic well. Would a foreign manager, and this is a question to you guys and also to the listeners here, would you like to see a foreign manager take over at Millwall? Would it work at Millwall? I don't know.
Just before you, just there, I'm going to come in. Warnock till Muscat when his contract ends. No, we need a permanent manager in now. It has to be a permanent manager for me. I know that might not see Muscat come in, but we've got to get this right. And in terms of a foreign manager, look, I don't necessarily think it has to be someone who knows the Millwall way to be manager. It might mean that we need to have someone who knows the Millwall way on his coaching staff. Maybe have Paul Robbo, not the guy who's kind of sharing the job with Adam Barrett, in and around the squad, because I think that's where it's important to have someone that knows the club and understands the club, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the manager. At the end of the day, whoever the manager is, I don't care if they're from out of Mongolia. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'll back them, whoever it is, but they have to come in and show that they have a clear way of getting us to play. And I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but if we can identify and see what they're trying to do, I have no issue with that. But it's just at the moment it's too samey, it's too static, there's no difference. So I don't think a foreign manager makes any difference personally.
Steve Morrison's foreign, he's Welsh.
Well, that counts, yeah. But I'm saying, even we've got a foreign manager in. You look at De Zebri at Brighton. He's somebody.
De Zebra.
Is it De Zebri? His name is, or I can't remember his name. Brighton manager. He wouldn't know much about Brighton players or about English football, let's say. But he's come in there. He's put his own stamp on it. He wants to play a certain way of football, and they responded really well. And they're good to watch. I mean, they had a great result against the poor Ajax team yesterday. But if you bring a foreign manager in, and maybe you bring in like someone like a Steve Morrison as an assistant manager, who can be that kind of that relate to the players and kind of guide the manager a little bit, advise them what the players are like and stuff.
These managers, they don't want to have their assistant managers picked. They want to be able to bring their own staff in,
their own team. Yeah, I get that. I mean, even as one of the coaches. I mean, I don't know what Morrison's earning at home church at the moment, but surely we can pay his wages as a first team coach. I'm sure he's probably on about similar sort of money, but they'll give him an opportunity to get back into management in a higher division, maybe. I don't know.
It's all gone wrong since Voggy left. Why is Warnock so high on the odds? I thought he was asking for tickets for his new tour. I don't know. Again, it was, I think, probably because of an article that had come out and people loved
on it.
Isn't
his new tour next year? So what I'm saying is, does that suit him, maybe? Like, he might, you know what? He's probably always wanted to manage Millwall. He's always said it in the past, like joking around about it. If he did it until December, that would suit him. He could go off and do his tour, and we'll get a new manager in January, and that manager could be Muscat after the J League is over.
Dan, a Charlton fan, train spotter. That's nice thing.
No, get your anorak on. With your glasses.
We're so predictable now, one-dimensional with no plan B. We don't want another Birmingham manager. Look at Rowett. I think that was
Eustace.
Yeah, look how well Rooney's there, though. They're calling for him to be sacked after 2 games. So
yeah. Well, he's lost the change room, hasn't he, Rooney, from the sounds of it already in the first couple of games.
How much would you take SA or take for SA?
For me, he's got big money. I mean, he's only just turned 18 years of age. He plays for the under-19 England under-19. One of 2 players not playing for a Premiership club. I think the other one is Joby Bellingham. So he's got a bright future ahead of him. He will be, playing the Premier League, I reckon, in the next sort of 3 or 4 years. So for me, it's got to be big. I think you look at the players that have been sold on. They could take anything sort of 10 and 15 million. I think I'll put him in that bracket.
What I would argue with
Mick, sorry, Ben, hold on. Before you say this, Mickey, Stephen has hot pants on tonight. Ask him to stand up. I'm not standing up, and I am not wearing hot pants. And then the comments, Steve, hold on. Steve is the Speedo kid, budgie smugglers. Guys, stop. Sorry, Ben, go on.
No, I was going to say with the essay thing that we're not losing any output from him. It's not like he's getting loads of goals and assists. So we are purely selling on potential,
Reputation,
right?
yeah.
Reputation and potential. So if someone coming with a 10 mil bid, like Dan said, plus a sell on, I think as a club you've got to be looking to take that. As
You've got to consider it, and
he's not a regular starter. He's not tearing it up completely with us. Yes, he's doing great things for England. So we are purely selling on potential. So as I say, if we could sell him for 10 mil, get a sell on, and maybe a loan player from a top club, I'd definitely consider that.
Absolutely. Hutchinson got injured, taken out the bins. Yeah, that was another one. Beale has no loyalty. It's not a Millwall trait. Quite agree.
You say that, TT, but I think Beale did turn down, when he was at QPR, he did turn down an offer, didn't he, for another?
Yeah, he did. But he said Wolves. Yeah, he said, oh no, he said, oh, I'm not going to take the Wolves job. I'm loyal to QPR. I'm loyal. I've got a job to see. And then 2 weeks later, was buggering off the Rangers. So
the Rangers were in the Champions League as well. So it's a big difference of taking Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah,
I guess it's a big step up from it. It just come quite quick.
Bill thinks he's chocolate.
Ben, you said you were speaking to a few Rangers fans because they came to the Preston game.
Yeah.
What did they all say about Bill?
All categorically said, "Do not take him." But I'm there already because I'm with you, Dan. It's a 2-horse race, the SPL, isn't it? And you can't fuck it up. You need to win 4 games a season, or probably 2, to be in with a big chance. And they were so far behind the other lot that can't be named that I just, for me, not for me. And so all the Rangers lads were like, no.
That's Celtic, Ben.
Yes, them lot.
Celtic.
Them lot.
They would do it. But I think with Bill, you look at Michael Bill and his progress from a young coach. I mean, he was coaching, youth football. I think he started doing futsal, which is a very good Brazilian art form, Portuguese art form, playing football. He started doing that. Then he got involved with Chelsea through the good work he did at futsal in South London.
Could you imagine trying to get Jake Cooper to play futsal?
He then gets a job at Chelsea. There's a great job at Chelsea there for many, many years. He then goes to Liverpool because he was getting fed up that no youngsters were being released from Chelsea into the first team. So he then goes to Liverpool, does really, really well there. He was coaching their under 21s, I believe. And then Stephen Gerrard was then coaching their under 19s. That's how they got quite close together, Gerrard and Bill. And of course, when Gerrard then got the Rangers job, the first thing he did was take Bill with him. They can't be that bad of a coach if that's what people like Gerrard are looking to sort of take him on,
Don't Watford.
I think just needs, this could be the move for him that makes a huge difference for him.
Don't have the Watford chicken balti pies. Last season, mine was like a dead rat in pastry. Right, there we go.
Here's for a tip off. I love a chicken balti pie at the den, so I'll swerve that one when I see it.
Joe, sorry, just going back to Michael Beale. So I'm sensing you would be okay or happy with us getting Beale.
No, don't get me wrong. My preference would be Muscat. But I think if we did get Beale, I would be happy to see what he can do because I think he's got a bit about him. He's still quite young. He's from Bromley. He's a South London guy. The rumour is he's a Millwall fan. I don't know if that's true or not, but he just seems to tick a lot of boxes. I think this could be the move for him that really sets him off. But what he does need
we're going to get behind whoever the manager is, aren't we?
And maybe you look at what happened with Gary Rowett. He had the stigma with Gary Rowett about sort of changing jobs and moving jobs and getting sacked and whatever. And I think when he comes to Millwall, I think he had made a promise to himself he's going to make this one a long stint. And I reckon with Bill, with the kind of change he's had in the last sort of couple of seasons,
similar sort of profile, 2 quick jobs.
Sorry, mate.
Similar profile in sense of 2 quick jobs.
Yeah. And I think Bill will want to make it work. And I think I could see him. And also, we've been quite loyal to our managers. He'll probably do 2 or 3 seasons here. The only trouble is he'll probably do well and then get a Premier League move. But if he's that good, then fair play. As long as it helps us get up or challenge,
He's obviously the one that is being spoke about by someone somewhere because he's the only one that stayed at that favourite 2-1 sort of mark for quite a while.
Exactly, and now he's 2-1 as well. And apparently, I think he's very close mates with Dunny, isn't he, as well? So could Dunny be the assistant manager that joins him? I don't know. There's lots of speculation there, What's TT saying there?
AB saying about getting his thoughts and ideas across the players he's coached for the past 4 years. I do
Yeah.
agree with that. It seems an odd thing to say, especially it's not even. Well, it was probably before that because he was there under Harris as well, wasn't he? So he's been there for.
But
He's
Steve,
been coaching them for longer.
Was that a dig at Rowett though? Because I get what TT's saying there. It's almost like he was like, I've got my own ways of playing, my own ideas. Blah, blah, blah. And he said with a little grin on his face. It's almost like he didn't agree with what Rowett started football.
I'm not sure. I think the players. I think that's more Barrett. I think he's saying that the players should know what his ideas are. He's been in communication with them, for
Do you think so?
years.
I
think so.
I took it in a sense of like he didn't agree with Rowett's football, and therefore he wants to play a certain way of football on the front foot, pressing, all the rest of it. So, but like TT say, are they actually going to change? Are they going to do much for him? I don't think so. They know him too well, don't they?
Absolutely. I'm more concerned with the backroom staff sitting on the bench. Do we need a complete overhaul? I really do think we do. There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of comments coming in about the managers and the potential manager. I'm gonna possibly just move it on slightly. I'm going to talk about a couple of players and then we'll move on to the game tomorrow. The first thing I do need to ask, or AT is asking Ben, how was Pizza Hut in the Trafford Centre, Ben?
Yeah, really good. Too many day trippers and shirters, but you can't have it all.
Hashtag Hot Pants Stephen, Dan Train Spotter, Joe the Stalker. Hashtag Bradder's mum. David loves a hashtag.
I'd like to get that going.
There, mate, Bradder's mum.
A charming snake, though. I'm assuming he's talking, and the profile picture of George Long.
That's quality.
I feel sorry for him. When I look at him, I feel sorry for him.
Tonali and Tony are 500 quid on JT getting the job. That's quality. AT Halloween special. Dan, are you sitting in the dark, shining a torch into your face? Bill would have the same feelings for me to be happy about him. And finally, Bill posted a photo from St James's Park in London on his Insta 3 days ago. JB used to stay in a hotel in St James's Square when in London. Yes.
Wow.
Left field suggestion, Alex Pearce. Probably a little bit too early to jump straight into championship management, but I do think he's certainly one that will go into management.
Is he in management now? Just on that, Stephen, is he managing?
I think he's coaching.
Or is he
coaching
I'm not sure. AFC? Did he start AFC or something? Is he going to play a coach?
Possibly. Yes, we definitely need to clear out the coaching staff and bring backroom staff of Ray Morris and Dunham Warner. Don't matter who the manager is. I agree. Having Mill players around would help. I'm going to talk about a couple of individual players now. Guys in the comments. Right, I'm not having this. I'm sorry, but is it true Stephen is applying for next season's Love Island? Nobody wants to see this on Love Island. I can assure you. No, you guys have to put up with it on a Friday night and a Sunday night. You do not want to see it on your TV.
I think we should get Stephen on Married at First Sight. Get him on maths. That would be something.
Of course you're saying that.
No,
and we get a transgender woman in there too.
No.
I would.
Right. No, Joe, we're not doing this. I'm sorry, we're not.
I'm serious. I think I'm gonna put an application in for you. Honestly.
So, a couple of players that I wanted to mention. First of all, Wes Harding.
Rolls Royce.
What a boy he is.
I was really, really pleased that he got his first goal. Admittedly, goalkeeping error. Probably not the best, but he's got his first goal. He seemed delighted with it. He commented after the game.
Sorry, I just saw a bit of flesh there. You got shorts on?
That's my arm.
I thought I saw your knee pop up. You are wearing shorts, aren't you?
I am wearing shorts, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
While we're on it,
sorry, moving on. You say, Stephen, go on. Sorry to interrupt you.
I was going to say, Wes Harding, we know you're delighted to score. Please don't do a sue ever again, lad. Please.
Oh, right. I'm getting absolutely hammered in the comments here at the moment.
Trying to keep negative Dan. Poor Wes.
More chance of Crime Watch than Love Island. Thanks, Paul. Peter Schultz. Steve, who did you have sitting with you on Tuesday? I brought my mum to the game. My dad wasn't able to come. We usually, obviously, season tickets up in Block 10. He wasn't around. Mum fancied it. Trying to get a little bit more into the football, but no, it didn't quite work out. And she did have, for anybody that the mic sits in front of me, she had the brightest pink hat on ever. So you wouldn't have missed her at all. But yeah.
Wanted to get your hat ready.
Mickey asked me to let everyone know he was walking his dog and not dogging. Case closed. He'll be back next week. Harding begs the question, what took GR so long to start him? Again, we'll go back to Wes Harding after you guys suggested Love Island and bloody Crime Watch and all the comments. It is baffling how Gary Rowett brought a centre-back to the club. We've had a crisis at the back, and it took him so long to give him game time. He just looks like somebody that should be playing in our defence for the rest of the season when fit.
100%.
Yeah.
And he strikes me as somebody, I hope I don't curse him now, or jinx him, but he seems like someone who is quite a fit player. I think he will remain fit. I can't see him getting injured too much or anything like that, But you're absolutely right. And he would have known him from his time working at Birmingham as well. So he knows how good he is. He signed him for that basically knew him. But why he didn't play him, it's beyond me.
It's baffling.
There's a player there, I tell you.
Type 1 if you want Stephen to stand up. Don't know who that Stephen is, Chris, because that's not how you spell my name. We need ball playing centre backs, and it's strange how we run out of gas. The fitness levels, again, we mentioned this earlier, it is a concern. And we do need ball playing centre backs. I think Harding's comfortable on the ball. I think he's certainly happy to come out with it as well. But I think maybe perhaps needs someone else next to him that can do the same. Yeah,
he seems to have struck up a decent relationship with Norton Cuffy as well.
Yeah, he has. They look all right.
Yeah,
and
he talks a lot.
At Preston.
And you notice that? Yeah, he's always talking. He's always shouting. He's telling Cuffy what to do and all that. He's quite commanding, isn't he, as a defender?
It's amazing. We said it again on the last live that, as you said, Stephen, we've gone for an injury crisis to have found what has almost been sitting under our noses in terms of a athletic, quick, big, strong centre half who looks like when it goes in behind, he can actually chase down at a centre forward and
tackles in.
Yeah. As you say, I think if he stays fit now for the rest of the season, I think he's got to be a mainstay.
Mm-hmm. After being at Rotherham for that long, I'd be doing the Sui as well.
That's the celebration, doesn't it?
Joe was very excited by seeing Stephen's legs. It is a little bit of a concern. He did get a little bit excited.
Glimpse of his knee, 80, and it got me all going, I tell you.
Is Dan auditioning for the Blair Witch Project Part 2?
Blair Witch Project. You see that, Dan? That's probably before your time, that is.
Good to stand up and stretch every now and then.
It's going to woods with a torch, and it's to film themselves.
Harding over Murray Wallace all day long. TT couldn't agree more. Harding would be a good captain. And then the next comment, Harding is a future captain, potentially someone. The next player I'm going to just couple on. Harding has showed leadership on the pitch, something we really miss at times. Harding looked very good. Surprised he didn't get a look in until we had a few injuries in defence. Bit of a Criswell won't come back purely because we really want it to happen. I'd sign him in January in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
It's amazing on Harding as well, Stephen. I was going to say that it's very unusual for us as a fan base to be all collectively behind the player as well since he's come in. I don't think I've actually seen any negative comments about him whatsoever. No. It's just been how good he's been, how's he not been starting. Like, I'm not saying he's Maldini, but everyone seems to be behind him at least.
Absolutely. On Millwall TV, it was a very interesting interview with Esse and Amaka about finding God recently. I mentioned Harding. I'm not religious, but to me, he's coming to look after our youngsters. He's quite active on social media, Harding, that is, and he's very religious. He does quote a lot of things from the Bible. He's very, trust in his faith, which is, absolutely fine. Respect him for that. That's his belief. And I do think he is someone, a little bit of not a coach, but someone who perhaps is someone that the youngsters can perhaps look up to. He has got a good relationship with Norton Cuffy. Maybe that there is something in that. I'm not too sure. Millwall TT, I've spoken to Mickey. Let's see what happens. So I think that's in relation to the potential football game between the two shows. We'll see. at least
So
Millwall
is the
TT.
TT playing for us or the other team?
No, it would be again. He would put a team together against us because the other channel that we decided to try and challenge,
Right,
perhaps
okay.
it's not
I'm
going to.
interested. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they're
If they're
being.
interested, then we'll recruit TT on our team then as well.
Absolutely. Thoughts on Bielkowski and Truman, aka the new Sanford? Should we give him a chance in goal? From what
I don't think Massey's done too badly, has he? To be fair, I mean, he pulled off a couple of nice saves last game. I felt,
he did.
He made an error for the goal, but people say he was wrong side, he couldn't see the ball, whatever. But apart from that, I think he pulled off a couple of decent, close saves. Anyway,
I'm under the impression as well that Connor Truman isn't particularly that good. So he hasn't played a lot of first team football and the Daily Mill with the crosses. Next player, I'm going to come on to you guys. And this is a bit of an interesting one before we move on to the game tomorrow. Billy Mitchell obviously got a start on Tuesday, come on Saturday against Preston. Seems to be the next victim of the Boo Boys culture on social media. Harsh.
Do you know what?
Because he isn't George Savile as well.
Yeah, it could be an element of that. I'm a huge Billy Mitchell fan. I think.
Me too.
Underwhelmed by him at the minute. I know he hasn't had the starts, but I'm certainly not a boo boy by any means, but I'm starting to go, I need to see more from you, Billy. I absolutely love him, and I really don't want him to slip into that, I don't even want to say it, but Ben Thompson sort of position, or not position, but just sort of floats out the club. I don't want that to happen.
I think his level's above Ben Thompson, to be fair, isn't he?
Yeah, totally agree.
Ben Thompson's quite effective when he played the number 10 role. Yeah, his runs were quite good. He'll nick a goal. But that was up in League One level. When he went to the Championship, he couldn't cope with it. With Billy Mitchell, okay, he ain't fucking like Zidane or Pirlo, but I think he holds his own. Yeah, for a 21-year-old playing in the Championship, I think does really well. Very, very rarely does he lose the ball. Yeah, he takes the ball in very, very tight situations sometimes. And he's very, very clever. He's very good at sort of working his way out and finding, the pass or whatever. But you need someone alongside him, like a Denore, who is going to be a little more creative and play a little more on the front foot. You can't have both players doing a similar sort of role. Sometimes you need someone who's going to play that little bit more of a defensive mindset, break up play, win the ball back, give it to someone else. And then they're not sort of like Denore or whatever it might be, who's going to play that more attacking role. But for me, I agree with Ben. Billy's a decent player. He's 21 years of age, I think, still. And, he's going to get better. He ain't going to hit his peak till he's 27, 28. We're talking, 6, 7 years' time,
I'm going to, just before we carry on with Billy Mitchell, TT, simple question just to break it up just quickly. Question for the panel, one-word answer. Who do you want as our new manager? Ben, one word.
Jones.
Dan.
Muscat.
Joe.
Muscat.
Stephen.
And for me, Eustace. Back on to
TT. Who do you want?
Yeah, Dan refusing to turn a light on cost of living.
Dan needs to top up his Oyster card to get through all the stations so he can take pictures.
Guys, just very quickly on the chat there, guys. Just put again, who's your preference, your manager? I know Steve wants to kind of like move on from the manager conversation, but just very quickly, just put one name of a manager who you want, and just do it very quickly in the chat.
I'll add those. I will come back to that. Obviously, let the comments filter through. But on Billy Mitchell, back past Billy, way off the pace was Billy. He was so poor. I would have hooked him off at half time. One in support. Billy is the most underrated player at the club. We love slagging off the youngsters. Mitchell can be good, but this season he's been disappointing. Same with Danny.
They're not playing much, Connor, either, is he? He's not playing a lot of games. Yeah, when you're playing games, a bit like Sav and him last season, where they've had that bond together, you play, your confidence grows, your fitness grows. When you missed a few games, you come on for the last 10, 15 minutes, and then you're starting again. You've got to find your feet again. It takes at least 2 or 3 games to get into that rhythm,
I think this is a really, really, really good point as well. Sorry, Stephen. I think this is a really good comment. When you're playing in that midfield position, whether you're affecting the game going forward with goals and assists, or if defensively, you've got to be really good defensively. And I don't think Billy's that. He's not that sort of George Savile of last year that's going to make a tackle, change the momentum of a game, or whatever, break it up. And I think that's where I don't say Billy's slightly lost, but he needs to kind of decide, is he going to affect it going forward, or is he going to completely affect it going back and just be that sort of defensive midfielder that's going to tick it over? And I think that's the challenge, I think, for Billy. He's got and manager, right? They've got to decide where he's going to fit in.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And the comments, he's a good player, has an engine, can tackle, can see a pass, hasn't had a forward-thinking role. I think to touch on going through these comments on what Ben said, I don't think he's had a definitive role in the team. I think everyone, like Casper, you can kind of see what he's in. He's to try and find those passes to keep us ticking over. Campbell, when he plays, is a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more hustle and bustle in him, so to try and make himself busy. Yeah. Saville, he puts a foot in. He likes to break up the play, but with Mitchell, it's hard to know what his role is in. What does he do? Is he supposed to be in front of the back 3 or 4, whatever it is? Is he supposed to be making runs into the box? The backwards Beale and the sideways passing, I can understand where people come from with that, because it is frustrating sometimes when he does it. But ultimately, a lot of the time, that's all he can do. There isn't really anywhere for him to go. A lot of comments are very hit and misses. So Mitchell is struggling, but he'll come good again. Thought Mitchell didn't play great. The only thing he done was pass the ball all the way back to their striker. Other than that, great player. Easy to not lose the ball when you're passing backwards and sideways.
True.
Again, it's very mixed and it's very difficult. It's very difficult to. I'm not one that's on Billy Mitchell's back. I just don't think I just don't think there's a specific role for him in the team, and I think he's just kind of there because we have to have another midfielder next to Denore. And with Saville and Campbell, you can at least see what they're trying to bring to the team. The reason Billy has not been good, he hasn't had no games. Consistency, again, I agree. He's not going to get better. He is what he is. I think
he's only 21. I mean, like I said, he's going to get better. Every player does, no matter where you play. You know.
Billy is better than Ben all day long.
Thompson.
Thompson. I was going to say, but I don't think I've ever seen Ben play. Ben never played in midfield.
Just on that as well, I wasn't comparing him to Ben Thompson. He's a million times better than Ben Thompson, but I don't want him to float out of starting the first team. Then he's going to be on the bench. He's going to be a bit part player before you know it. We're going to sell him. That's kind of what I meant with it.
Yeah. And just go back to Steve's point there, Stephen. Just finish off what he said there. Billy shows for the ball. He always wants the ball. He positions himself really well. He struggles because, again, we've got no movement in the 4 positions. And the last key last point is he doesn't lose the ball. Sometimes, you see it from both teams. Give the ball away, bad passes, or, get shoved off the ball. But Billy, he can do a job in midfield. He can boss a midfield. He just needs to be a little bit more forward thinking with his passes or trying to create something. You never see him kind of turn a play or go for a run or try and play a killer pass to get an assist. That's how he's got to work. But again, he's 21 years of age, guys. That might happen in next year or 2. But when it does, it'll be the full package.
Absolutely. Remember last season, it was Billy and Saville was our best midfield. It was. Yeah. Now, the comments have come in about the manager. So I'm going to go through these. I'll read out the names. Right. CO.
CO? Oh, sorry.
Oh. Eustace.
That's,
Daily Millwall. Muscat. Connor, you failed at the first hurdle because you gave 2 names. So I'm sorry. I'll put your comment up, but
Nathan Jones.
It's one or the other. Pick one quickly. Wilder from Alex. Eustace from Chris Brown. Wilder from Peter. Jones from MFC 1885. Millwall TT Guardiola. Great. There's always one. Paul Donovan, Paul Heckingbottom, if sacked this weekend by Sheffield United. Lilian Blue, Roy Keane. And hashtag John David, hashtag train spotter. Baz, you fouled at the first hurdle. Muscat or Jones, we need one, please.
Go for Muscat, the first one. Go for the first one.
David, Muscat for me. Muscat. Daniel, Muzzy. Yeah. David, Burkamp or Muscat, although he did say Muscat beforehand. And then Tunbridge, Eustace will keep the club steady. Muscat will change the ethos. So we'll go Eustace.
Just a nap, Stephen. I've counted 5 for Muscat, 3 for Eustace, two for Jones, two for Wilder.
I think Muscat is the obvious one, isn't it? I think that's the kind of dream scenario. It's the one that the fans want, the one they can, get behind, and he played for the club and this, that, and the other. Oh, that's quite funny. He's the one for Love Island. No, he's the one from Love Island. They all do their fake tan and all that. Dan's the one for that, not me.
This is Ben's burner account, this bloke, isn't it?
Sav next to Casper all day long, but I think something's going on behind the scenes with Sav. I wouldn't bet against that, but I would love to see those two playing with each other. I think it would be fantastic. Dan Riggs, anyone but Mrs. Doubtfire Warnock. We've had a few more. You've got Spencer Muscat. Connor's decided to go with Jones. Richard Lacey. Robbie Keane.
I think, does he mean Robbie Fowler? I think he
Robbie Keane.
Robbie was managing Israel.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Mr. Nate Warnock. These comments about managers used as a stepping stone are nonsense. That is our existence. If we have a manager that has success and plays good football, he's going to get offered bigger jobs.
Absolutely,
perhaps it's the same as our players. Jonathan says Wilder. Ken says Muscat. If Sheffield United sack Heckingbottom, will GR be the running for the Blades job? We had a conversation about this. Yeah, we had a conversation about this, I think, in the chat. And Ben, I know we spoke about it, that unless Gary Rowett takes a team to the Premier League himself from the Championship, I think it's unlikely, and I think you're the same, it would be unlikely that he would get a Premier League job off the bat, I think.
Just can't see it. Well, on what basis? He's never managed in the Premier League. I just don't. There'd be someone out there that you would want to get with Premier League experience. If it's a Sheffield United, you're looking at someone who can potentially get you out of a lot of trouble. 100%. Unless he takes a team to the Premier League, I can't see him getting a Premier League job.
No mention Mason before, did they?
No, Ryan Mason, Millwall TT Jones would be a dangerous choice. Having such an emotional coach manager could potentially be.
Yeah, this is.
We have so many. We can't see blowing up. Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah. Jones. Like you read some of the stuff like he said when he was at Southampton, like the old. I've seen that comment. I'm trying to ignore it while I finish my sentence.
David, I think Dan's all week, mate. I'm not growing it.
Saying Southampton, he was like, "Oh, giving up so much. I'm from a mining family. I've given up so much. I've had to move away from beautiful Welsh women to come and do this and stuff like that." It's just like it's just waiting to all go off, isn't it?
Rowett will be QPR soon, potentially. Sheffield United, the basket case owner, is crazy. Rowett is a choker.
What joker?
Has Fleming's price tag gone down, and what is he worth now? That's an interesting point.
I think it's still quality. I think you see the quality, don't you? It's just not consistent enough, unfortunately.
Let's ask Ben what he did with Fleming. Ben, what did you do with Ian Fleming?
He got sold to Saudi for 21 million. I don't think we're getting anywhere near that, unfortunately. But just on a more serious answer, I think it was something that I said, a few games into the season. That was the issue with us turning that sort of money down. He has to replicate what he done last year to get anywhere near the value that we were offered in the summer. Yes, his form has improved. I'll be the first one to say that after being very critical of him. But I think for a club like us to turn down even north of 10 mil, I know we were holding out for 15 or the rumours that we were. I think it's a very dangerous game to play for a club like us.
For me, you know what? For me, Fleming, he's a decent player, but he's not someone who creates loads of chances or gets loads of assists. He's a goal scorer, and you need him in the box. And I know people say, "Oh, he's not a forward." We're keeping you up, Dan. You're right.
Yeah. No, man, I'm quite tired now.
and
another one who's got done.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, we probably need to play him in that kind of forward position. Yeah, if he's not playing as an out-and-out striker, he has to play very, very close to that striker role. Like last season, like I said before, when you play just one striker and he filled in as almost like a false nine at times and got in that box. Whereas this season, when we're playing two up front, you very rarely see him get in that kind of goal scoring area. He's always playing too deep when we're attacking or getting balls in and stuff like that. So I think he either needs to change his a position into a forward, or they've got to kind of somehow play, one number 9 and him as number 10 and get him in that forward area. I don't see the value he adds to the team playing so deep in midfield.
No,
we don't want him tackling, winning the ball. Do we want him scoring,
Absolutely. Rowett moaning about missing home, but then goes QPR, big loss of respect in my eyes. If that does happen, I think that's a fair point.
Absolutely.
Fleming is still a £10 million player. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. Yeah. Barrett said in training they've been working on getting Fleming more involved. Let's hope so. He needs to be. Let's face it, Ian has been well off it this season. He's at his best when he's putting himself about and running with the ball. He's clinical, but we haven't created nearly anything. 100%. Dan, you are copping it tonight. Serial killer Dan. And the next comment, does Dan still have growing pains? He is. You are copping it tonight.
Yeah.
Don't piss him off. I've got to get a training in tomorrow. He's going to be on the Stellars.
So
you'll make it to Watford. Him and Omar having a competition. Who's going to drink the most beer?
Yeah, that's true.
Houston to Watford. I've got to referee the match.
You babysitting tomorrow, Joe?
I am. I know. So I'll take a couple of kids out. I know you don't look like it. But,
Phil Fleming is frustrated by our style of play. Hopefully, whoever comes in can build around him and Denor. Absolutely, completely agree. The problem is we only ever attack down the wings. A few times we've gone through the middle of the season, we've scored Fleming out of the game the way we attack. Completely. Jan transfer window slowly coming, hence why Zian been scoring and playing better. I'm not sure. This is fantastic. Dan is doing his dating app face. I'm gonna leave that comment on for a while because that's really funny. As we talk about, oh god, no, I'm not. I'm going to go with this one. No, I'm going with this one. Taking the kids out, Daddy Joe confirmed.
Make sure you go to bed soon, Ben. You're going to be tired tomorrow.
Sorry,
right.
Mate.
We travel to Vicarage Road tomorrow. A few of the lads on the pod's going. Our northern correspondent, unfortunately, isn't able to make it, but there'll be a few of us there tomorrow. So if you do, that is true. Actually, if you see us, come and say hello. As always, it'd be great to meet some of you guys tomorrow. Watford. Are we expecting, apart from the obvious in Joe Bryan, who's obviously out injured after the game on Tuesday, are we expecting any other changes? And if so, who?
What's interesting, if Joe Bryan, obviously he's not going to play, the only player who's going to play there is going to be Murray Wallace.
Ryan Longman.
Or would you put Adam Malachi in? Because otherwise, what's the point?
I would love to put Malachi in, but I don't know if Watford away is the game you want to sort of get him starting.
When is the good time to put him?
I know. But I mean, Watford away is a tricky one. I'd like to see Longman probably playing in that role. But if not, then Malachi would be a great option, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I do see it's a bit of a tough game to put him in. I don't think Watford are anywhere near what they were, so it's not the end of the world to give him an opportunity. But I'm not sure. I think Longman would be the obvious one. I mean, the Daily Mail started early, 2-0 defeat, red card for SA. That's interesting. I think Stevens saying Ralph Hasenhuttl. I think it was the Southampton manager, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think that probably. I like him. I think he's a very good manager. I think that's someone who'd probably be a bit out.
Honeyman in for Mitchell. This is I don't know, a minute. 1-1 bars. But no, hold on. This is fantastic. You guys, some of the guys in the comments, Joe, what are you putting in Dan's packed lunchbox?
Well, I've got some cheesy, crunchy dippers for him. I've got some food shoots, and what else do you like? Scotch egg.
Joe.
And a figure of fudge. Yeah.
Joe, you're giving your age away there with some of those choices, mate.
Yeah.
Isn't Watford up north?
Yeah. It's the border,
nice.
Isn't it? It's
not.
Border.
It's not quite northern for Ben, but to be fair,
for the rest of us, that's where the Midlands starts. I think, for me, to be honest.
We always beat Watford. I think Watford won 3-1 Millwall. Come on,
Watford
Wall.
haven't beaten us since.
No, don't do this.
Oh, I won't say it.
No, don't.
You know where I'm going from, don't you? We're a bit of their bogey side for them, aren't we? Really.
Ryan Mason. Joe started talking, and Dan looked like he was ready for bed. Living it up, Joe. You're boring, Dan.
AT, I have to agree with you that one. I was thinking that. That's why I thought I was sending him to sleep.
Wasn't Malachi the weird-looking bloke in Children of the Corn? Savelin for Mitchell. I'd love to see that, but I'm not sure. The Daily Mail Turkey Twizzlers. Early 80s horror film. Yeah. Mike, notice Stephen is happy this week. The heat is off him and on the others. Sorry, Love Island, Hot Pants, Crime Watch. The heat isn't off me. It's just if I see Joe tomorrow, I'll buy you a chicken balti pie.
Thanks, Chris.
Enjoy that.
Go by your advice. I think I'll pass on that one.
4-1 to Watford. No, Baby Bell. Daddy Joe out.
It's true. It's not Baby Bell. That one.
I think Billy lived
on the Baby Bell and Omar's at lunch. Omar's on the Baby Bell and the fruit shoot.
I think Billy looked off space the other day, but lack of game time didn't help. I completely agreed. He wearing the heat. Big E, I have no idea what you're talking about there, mate. Do you want to redo that one? 2-0 Millwall, Bradshaw brace. Right, Ben. Come on in, Ben. I know what you're going to say here, and you're going to give us an in-depth reason as to why. What is your prediction for the game tomorrow?
I wasn't going to give an in-depth reason. I was going to be
but I want
positive.
one.
Okay. I was going to be positive after... If we'd have gone straight from Preston into this game, I would have been positive and said we'll get a result. So I'm going to say we're going to get a point and go 1-1.
Right, I'm sorry, but I'm doing this.
Is that in-depth enough?
I can't bring it up on my screen, but for the benefit of the listeners, Ben's messages in that Millwall podcast WhatsApp group where I've had a few lemonades and I'm ready to tell everyone we're winning 4-0 tomorrow. Where's that energy gone? Where's that energy gone then?
All those comments and the fact I've eaten a huge fucking curry, but
he's got food coma now. Look, he's all
food coma. No, go on, fuck it. Yeah, we'll win. Not quite 4-0. 4-0? We'll win. Not quite 4-0, but I think we'll win.
Okay.
Connor 0-1. Adam Ten Hag is at the wheel. Joe, can I get your prediction for match result tomorrow?
Adam Ten Hag. I mean, so what
your hot pants is the hater. Big E, don't you start.
Watford haven't conceded the last two games, and don't TT. Every time I see his name, it haunts me.
You're making him emotional.
I know. I think it'd be a very, very close affair. So Watford the last couple of games, are playing. Well, they've got two wins. I think it's against was it against Swansea and someone else? I can't remember what it was now. I reckon it'll be a tight game, and I reckon it's going to go. I reckon it'll be 1-0 Millwall and Zian Fleming scoring.
How much pocket money, Daddy Joe?
Well, they start off with £2.50 each, and if they behave themselves on the train, they get an extra 50 pence when we get to Watford.
1-2 Wall, Fleming essay. Oh God, Dan, can you sort me out an eighth out when the grow is ready? Panzer, Phil Parkinson all day long if he would come. David's quickly rebuffed that and gone, no, Phil, not Phil Parkinson. I'm not sure. Oh, are they all blurred out West Ham picks behind Ben? # embarrassing.
Where's that come from?
The screens are blurred out, isn't it? That's why.
Background now, mate.
Right, hold on, how do I do that?
Take it out. You'll see porn all over his walls.
No. Very, very northern. They're all Oasis pictures.
Oh, right.
I won't have. I'm not. I don't care what any. I'm not having any Oasis slander in the chat.
Oasis,
You will be banned from the chat if there's any Oasis slander.
That one there is my pride and joy. That's a picture of Frankie Dettori. For any racing fans in the chat.
predicting the Championship is ridiculous. I just hope it's more Preston than it was at Norwich. We're capable of batting and also being absolutely shit. Either way, we'll be loud in that away end. Absolutely, TT. There's 2,000 of us going. I think there was over 2,000 tickets sold. So, Dan, prediction for tomorrow, please.
I've done a few predictions for a couple of various different outlets going into the build-up for the game. I'm just going to stick with what I've done. Based on zero logic whatsoever, I think it's going to be 2-2 tomorrow.
2-2.
Fair enough, boys. Beware of the whirlers. I can never go against. I can never go against us. 1-0. I'll go 1-0. I don't think we'll get beat. I'll be honest with you. I think tomorrow the game. I don't think it's going to be a particularly great game. I don't think they particularly score many goals. We don't score too many goals. So
as long as they real nil ball, 1-0 to us, 2-1. I'll take it. It'll be a very close game.
Dean Smith with John Terry, experienced Championship manager, and has got Villa promoted out of this league. I'm not too sure. No way to Parkinson. I remember he was manager. We were 4-0 up, and he sat there looking resigned. No passion, no nothing.
Yeah.
MFC 1885. Don't look back in anger. Remain SA. I like that. I like that. That is very, very good.
Don't look back, you wanker. Remain SA.
Last time I went Watford was 0-4 on Boxing Day, and Lomas was sacked.
Bad memory.
We might hear one song from the home end.
Oh, they have a drum, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they do, don't they? Watford 0, Millwall 1.
Yeah, that's my prediction as well.
Omer tweeted earlier this week, other than his video, which has gone absolutely viral, of the sign being stolen, he also tweeted earlier this week that he thinks the worst Millwall chant is Millwall don't need a drum.
Backs to the wall, you young lads that are going. If Elton John is about Millwall TT, I guess we'll have to roll with it. Again, big fan of that. Love that TT. Lineup 4-3-3, Bart, Longman, Harding, Coops, Cuffy, Sav, Campbell, Denore, Fleming, Bradshaw and Mackey.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We seem to play better against Preston than we did at home against Blackburn, and we started with 5 against Preston, or 3, if you want to call it.
Well, there's something and also might be fit for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so it depends who's 9 at the back, 4 on Watford. Alex has asked Oasis or Stone Roses?
Oasis.
Yeah, it's got to be Oasis, isn't it?
Yeah. I watched them live at Wembley, their first big one. I'm not sure if it might be about 2000 actually. That was an amazing concert. And the song I remember was Cigarettes and Alcohol, massive at the time it came out. Rock and Roll Star. Oh, quality.
No booze being sold in the away end tomorrow, apparently, either. Comical.
Don't worry, Dan, because Dan and Omar will be tanked up by the time we get there anyway. You mean no odds to them.
Champagne Supernore. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's have Champagne Supernova. Alex. Stone Roses 100%.
Sing it so well, we'll get a copyright strike, and we don't want that. So.
No, Hugh's back unrivaled. Ben's gone. Eustace is.
He's falling asleep into his curry, isn't he?
Right, number 2, Jones not a chance. Must get no experience out of his league. We've got a better chance of winning away than round our way. Absolutely, I do agree with that, but I think the game tomorrow is just going to be a bit. I don't know. They don't score many goals. We don't score many goals. They're low in confidence. We're low in confidence. Do you know what I mean? I'll say this now. It probably end up being like 4-3 or something ridiculous. But
I talked to my mate's a Watford fan, and obviously he's going to the game, and he feels quite optimistic by it all. He reckons in their eyes they've turned the corner a little bit. They're playing better. They're winning games, and he's quietly confident that he's going to beat. They're going to beat Millwall. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. I mean, that's not bad because it allows us to do the normal thing, counter, defends, and catch them on a break, maybe, you know?
Oasis all day, 100%. Carl, Bracey, Blur or Oasis. I was really lucky, Carl. I got to went to see Blur at Wembley a couple of months ago. A couple of lads from the pod come as well, and they were absolutely amazing. But Oasis are better. Yeah. So, in my opinion, of course. 2-0 for the Lions and Denore to score. I'd love him to get on the score sheet. I reckon his celebration would be quite something. I reckon he'd probably end up in the crowd with us. Round our way as an Oasis track. Yes, Alex. Thought Watford won the last 2 games. They won in midweek, I think. But they've been 1-0.
Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend, both won.
Yeah, and Sheffield Wednesdays.
Both goals
I'm not
around
really
the 80th minute as well.
Right. Okay. They're not like smashing teams, are they, at the moment? Let's be honest.
No, they are Oasis. They are Oasis pictures and not pictures.
AT, they are in bed.
This mum.
I lost a bet. I want to be Denore again.
I want to be Denore. Like
Dan, do you do
2 for 3?
Use your Oasis keep pints of piss incoming. Right, guys, I think we're reaching the conclusion. We're under a little bit of an impression we might get something tomorrow across the board. I think it's been a little bit flat under Adam Barrett. However, we've still got a bit of time. We're going to sort of do a little bit of a wrap up. I will come to Joe first. Any final words of wisdom, or anything for the listeners?
Wow. I just, all we want to see is a bit of passion, don't we? A bit of passion, play a little bit on the front foot, win your tackles, win your 50-50s, be up for it, press them from the front. That means everyone, not just Bradshaw. And hopefully we'll get a result. I mean, they're expecting to beat us, Watford. We're not the favourites to win this game. So if we come away with a draw, which might be the case, we've got to see that as a good point away from home. I still don't know about Adam Barrett. I can't make a mind up of him. I'm happy for him to sort of take the role as caretaker manager, if that means another week or so. But I don't really want him in that job, in that seat until Christmas is what's being rumoured at the moment. So, but equally, we want to get wins. If we win games, he stays in the job longer. So it's a bit of a, I don't know what you prefer, but yeah, let's just be up for it. Let's go for it and give us something to cheer about.
Absolutely. Steve, we'll see you there tomorrow. Safe travels, Daily Mill, thumbs up. Dan, same question to you. Words of wisdom and anything for the listeners.
Words of wisdom. Not really.
Jesus Christ.
Just don't lose. Run around. Don't lose.
He's going to get pelters on
doing the right things.
Insightful, mate.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Listen, if I'm going to jump off a fucking building, don't send that. All right, you'll just finish me off.
And for everyone going to see you tomorrow, we'll be loud and we'll do our thing, and just like the players can do theirs.
If everyone does see Dan tomorrow, can they cheer him up, give him a hug from me?
Give him a hug.
Thanks, guys.
Give him a fruit shoot.
Go on, you Lions. David, love the show, lads. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. I'll come back to that in a minute. Daniel Barrett, Wonderwall, of course. Ted Striker, cheers, lads. Good show. Chris Brown, it's going to piss down. Don't wear shorts. You were moaning about the shorts jokes earlier, Chris, and now you've. Bradshaw's mum has got it going on. That's on repeat in the Ben Green household. Ben, words of wisdom. Anything to say about the Pizza Hut in Old Trafford? Bradder's mum, the curry, or any words of wisdom for tomorrow?
Curry was good. Pizza Hut at Old Trafford. Old Trafford? The Trafford Centre.
Trafford Centre, not Old Trafford, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, look, day trippers, no one likes them, so could be better. What was the other one? Bradder's mum. Well, I don't need to say anything about Bradder's mum. And words of wisdom on tomorrow. Yeah, look, I actually think Watford might suit us, similar to Preston in a way. I think they're going to come on to us a bit more, and I think we all seem to think that suits us a little bit better when teams come on to us, rather than it be a bit more like it was midweek, where we're having a little bit more of the ball. So, yeah, I think, it may suit us tomorrow. It'd be interesting to see if he does make any changes, whether Amaku does stay on in the starting lineup. But yeah, I think we'll win.
Excellent. Give Dan a hug day. Absolutely.
I'll give you all that
Absolutely.
on the score
Yeah.
tomorrow, everyone.
It would be really
Dan
funny
would be
if
there
some
selling.
random people just see Dan and just give him a hug. Like just random people from all directions. And after the first 2 or 3 hugs, he'll obviously know what's going on then, and he'll just accept it. Like he won't fight it off. He'll be like, yeah, go on then. All right. You know, I just take it. If you see Dan, don't say anything.
Just hug him.
Just give him a hug. I just say it'll be all right, Dan. It'll be all right.
Cheers, fellas. Always great show. Thanks, Alex. Mill TT. See you all tomorrow. Come and say hello. Absolutely. Before I sort of do a little bit of a wrap up, if you can also jump over to Mill Drive Homes, TT's channel, give him a like and subscribe as well. Really good stuff going on over there, so that'd be cool. If you can support him as well, obviously been supporting us tonight, which we very much appreciate. Alex, Ocean Colour Scene, Paul Weller and Noel Gallagher did a wicked cover of Day Tripper. I will have to check that out actually.
Alex, yeah, I've seen that. It was top draw.
We'll have to have a look at that. And this comment here, I'm going to leave this one. This will be the last one that I put on the screen, and there is a reason behind it. And while I do my outro, from Lion Blue, at the moment, regardless with what's going on, get behind the Lions. I think it's important that whoever the new manager is, we may all have disagreements on it. We may all not. It might not be our first choice, but whoever it is going to have to come in and hit the ground running, and we're going to have to do everything we can to get behind them. Their potential first game, if it goes through, which I'm not sure, could be Southampton at home, which is a tough start. So, that could be, we're going to have to get behind him there, or Sheffield Wednesday, which is the banana skin at the moment. Thanks to everybody who's been listening tonight. As someone said earlier, you guys give up your Friday nights to listen to us waffle on about Millwall. We do it because we love taking a piss out of each other. And
I can't look at Dan. You all right, mate?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine.
Listen, Dan, straight to bed after this. I'll tell you what, if you don't get up in the morning and you miss the train, I'm going to go without you. All right? No more late nights.
We also need to try and get a bit more of a smile clearly on Dan's face. So if we can get 3 points tomorrow,
I think everyone's going with
the betting line is over.
See the video of me at Plymouth. Surely.
To be fair, Millwall, the Millwall official account posted a little video, didn't they, of the fans celebrating, and there was Dan right at the front, absolutely loving life after one of the goals. So it is in there, but tonight he's just been a little bit. I've
just checked on Betfair, Stephen, as well. On over 5.5 hugs is even money. So
lump on, lads, lump on.
If we can get 6 people to hug Dan tomorrow, that'd be brilliant.
But
there's got to be a forfeit for him as well if he gets more than 5 hugs.
Oh God!
Oh, you're going to get so many tomorrow, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Guys, please like and subscribe. Follow us across YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
and also, sorry, Stephen, to interrupt you there.
Yeah,
while you're in your full flow. Before I forget, just so we know you've lasted this long for the show, let's get a hashtag Hug Dan. Hashtag Hug Dan. That's all we want to see. Yeah,
can we get that on Twitter? Get it on Twitter. Get it on the Facebook, YouTube, the lot. Hashtag Hug Dan. That's been that Friday Night Live. We've had Joe Zampa, Ben Green, and the smiley, happy, wonderful face of Dan Sexton. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, like and subscribe. We'll see you all tomorrow at Watford, and we'll be back for another live show on Sunday evening. Come on, you Lions.